Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the Age of Resistance collection from Glam Polish. There are 10 polishes here altogether, inspired by the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. Is that the new one that's on Netflix? I feel like I've seen that. I have not watched it, but I've seen it. It's there. Netflix wants me to watch it, I just haven't done it. These will be available on February 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I will link the Glam Polish website down below. And then there are also some coupon codes for 5% off all individual shades and 10% off all full collections in store for the first 72 hours. So I will have those down in the description box and also in a pinned comment. Lost my train of thought for a second. 10 polishes here altogether, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Circle of the Suns, and this is described as a pale pink crelly with iridescent flakes, ultra hollow glitter, and hollow micro glitter. So this one is a pale pink crelly base, so it is going to be pretty sheer on that first coat, but there are a lot of flakies and a lot of glitter in there, and good formula on this one. So this one, it does start to build up on that second coat. Still pretty sheer though, although all of those flakes and glitters that are in there help make it look a little bit more opaque. You will get a little bit of texture out of all the stuff that's in here. It's not going to be super gritty like a texture polish or like a glitter, but there's definitely a little bit of pokiness there. So you will definitely want top coat to smooth that out. And you shouldn't get too much resistance though, because the flakies are going to pop right off the nail. They won't stick like a glitter, and the amount of glitter that's in there is pretty minor. So for as sheer as this one started, it does build up really well in that third coat. If I look very, very closely at it, I can still see my nail line, but with all the flakies and the glitter and the holographic sparkle that's going on in there, you really have to look for it. So that is 3 coats of Circle of the Suns. So the next polish is called Dreamfast, and this is described as a light lavender holographic with Aurora shimmer and ultra holographic glitter, and that Aurora shimmer is that very bright kind of reddish pink shimmer. So this one is also pretty sheer on the first coat, but you can see very holographic, and that shimmer also stands out really nicely against that base color, and good formula on this one as well. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. I think if you're if you're just not picky, you could probably stop here. I can still see my nail line if I turn my nail towards me and look very closely. So I am going to add a third coat because I'm not like too bothered by doing a third coat, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. It's just going to depend on maybe how white your nail line is and then your own preference. So this one does cover completely on the third coat. My kind of maybe unnecessary third coat. That shimmer stands out really nicely even after that base color is built up. It like really glows. You will have a little bit of texture from the glitter that's in this polish, but it's going to be very minor and it won't affect the removal too much. So that is 3 coats of Dreamfast. So the next polish is called Song of THRA, and this is a mauve crelly with iridescent flakies and ultra holographic glitter. So again, a bit sheer on that first coat. It's like a big silver glitter bar that I think is probably not supposed to be in there. Sometimes when you work with those glitters, you can find like misshapen pieces that just get stuck in with the rest of them, and I mean it's impossible to pick them out before they get into a polish. I even have some glitters that have what I just refer to as glitter chains, where instead of individual sized hex glitters, they're all stuck together in like one long chain. So formula on this one is good. There are a lot of flakies in there. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. This is another one that I'm going to add a third coat to, but I am being a little bit picky there. You might not need it. It's just going to depend on your preference. Whoa, potatoes. Oh, you're on the dryer, honey. I see you. Sorry. Just depending on your preference and the thickness of your coats and how white your nail line is. Little factors like that. My cat does this like very specific meow when she's up on the dryer and wants someone to see that she's up on the dryer. Like as soon as you acknowledge her, she jumps down. So I am adding a third coat here. I don't think it's entirely necessary, but I did have a little bit of nail line showing that I wanted to cover up. And it does seem like that third coat makes the color just a little bit deeper, which helps those flakies stand out just a little bit more. You will have a really slight texture here, but you won't have any difficulty removing it. So you will want top coat to smooth it out. So that is 3 coats of Song of THRA. The next polish is called Age of Resistance, and this is described as a gray crelly with iridescent flakies and ultra hollow glitter. So this one is also sheer on the first coat. They're described as curlies, but for me, I feel like they lean a little bit more jelly for the lighter shades especially. And again, lots of flakies in here. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. Still a bit sheer though. With the last two polishes, I did a third coat, but I wasn't entirely sure if it was necessary. This one I think you will most likely need a third coat for if you want it completely opaque. And again, just a slight texture from those flakies. Flakies generally lay pretty flat and smooth, but when you have this many of them in a polish, you are going to get a little bit of texture. So this one does cover completely on that third coat. And that third coat, I mean, it might make it the color a little bit deeper, but it's so minor, I'm not even sure if I'm imagining that or not. Yeah, a little bit. So that is 3 coats of Age of Resistance. The next polish is called Mother Aughra, and this is described as a gray purple crelly with iridescent flakies and ultra hollow glitter. Whoa, right in the trash can. So here is Age of Resistance next to Mother Aughra. Since they both had gray in the description, I thought I should show them together. Mother Aughra is definitely darker and then also has that purple tone to it. So this one is also a bit sheer on that first coat. So definitely a huge difference in the thickness of my coats between my middle finger and my pointer finger. I tried to thin my middle finger out a little bit and just made it worse. So good formula on this one. So the color definitely deepens here on this second coat. It does start to build up. My pointer finger is not completely opaque with that second coat, but I'm going to do one of these before I decide to do 2 or 3 because it was such a thin coat on that finger. Okay, that one looks pretty good. Let's try one more. So I am going to do a third coat here. I just have little uneven spots and sheer spots on almost all of my nails. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. I think if you do thicker coats, you might be able to get away with 2, but that third coat does deepen that color a bit. So that is 3 coats of Mother Aughra. The next polish is called Eye to the Stars, and this is described as a holographic base with shifting multichrome flakies and metallic purple glitter. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. A lot of glitter in there. I do have to do just a little bit of manipulation to get it spread out evenly on the first coat. There is more glitter in here and chunkier glitter than what's been in the previous polishes, so this one will dry more textured, and it will have a bit more resistance when you try to remove it, but good formula. So this one does start to build up really well with the holographic base and then also those flakies and glitters stacking on top of each other. This is one where I can see a little bit of my nail line if I look very closely, but I don't think I'm going to do a third coat because there is already so much glitter and so many flakies, and when the holographic sparkles, it's really going to hide any nail line that's showing. So you might need 3 if that really bothers you, but I think I'm good in 2. So I took the brush and I just added a couple of extra pieces of glitter and flakies to the very end of my pointer finger just to cover up that little bit of nail line because I always end up with thinner coats on that finger and it looks fine. So that is 2 coats of Eye to the Stars. The next polish is called Fires of Rebellion, and this is described as a forest green with aurora, shimmer, and ultra holographic glitter. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. The glitter that's in here is pretty fine and it's pretty sparse, so you won't get a ton of texture, a little bit, but not a ton, or resistance when you are removing it. So this one, the color does start to build up pretty nicely on that second coat. I'm going to take a close look at it before I decide. And why do I have so many splatters today? I'm going to call this one good in 2, but I think it's going to be 2 or 3 coats just depending on your application. I really can't see any nail line right now. It does dry a little bit dull, so you will want top coat to add that shine back. And the glitter stands out pretty nicely in this as well. Sometimes with these darker polishes that just have a dusting of glitter in them like this, it can get hidden, so it's nice to see that stand out. That is 2 coats of Fires of Rebellion. The next polish is called the Crystal of Truth, and this is described as an indigo crelly with iridescent flakies and ultra holographic glitter. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. You get a little bit more coverage out of it just because it is a darker color. And the flakies don't stand out super well on that first coat, but just from that blob of polish that I put there before I spread it out, I can definitely tell that they're going to stand out well once the color builds up. And good formula on this one. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. It's not quite there yet. I can still see a bit of my nail line, and I think I can get a deeper color out of it as well with the third. And just like the other polishes in this collection with this finish, a very slight texture because of the amount of flakies that are in there, but nothing like a glitter. So this one does cover completely in that third coat. It doesn't really change the color as much as I remember from my swatch pictures, or at all. Once that color is built up, those flakies do stand out really nicely. I think you could probably get away with 2 with this one. Again, just depending on your application and your preference. So that is 3 coats of the Crystal of Truth. The next polish is called the Darkening, and this is described as an aubergine crelly with sapphire, aurora shimmer, and ultra holographic glitter. So this one is a bit sheer on the first coat. Another one that I think is more jellyish than crelly, but it doesn't really matter. Just like the green one, what was that called? Fires of Rebellion. There is a scattering of glitter in here, and it's a pretty fine glitter. So you won't have too much texture once everything is dried down, and you should have very minimal resistance on removal as well. So this one does start to build up on that second coat, but it's not quite there for me. I just have some spots where you can tell the polish is a little bit more sheer than other spots. The color doesn't quite match up. It's not consistent across the nail. I don't know a good way to describe that. If you do thicker coats, that might not be a problem, but I'm going to go ahead and do a third. So I'm just adding this third coat to even the color out. I don't really think I needed it here on my middle finger, but all the other nails needed to be evened out a little bit more. This does dry slightly dull, so you will want top coat to add that shine back. So that is 3 coats of the Darkening. And the last polish is called Lords of the Crystal, and this is described as a dark purple crelly with shifting multi-chrome flakies and ultra holographic glitter. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat, but you do get a good amount of those flakies out. And good formula on this one as well. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. Not quite there for me though. I'm going to add a third just to even some things out and cover up my nail line. And probably make the color darker, but I've said that once before and it didn't make any difference. So we'll hold that one off for now. And like the other polishes in this collection, in this finish, you will get some slight texture from those flakies, but nothing like a glitter. So this one does cover completely on that third coat and evens everything out. Didn't really change the color that much. And I don't know, it's probably a little too late to see. You might have been able to see a little bit of that texture from those flakies. So that is 3 coats of Lords of the Crystal. So the Crystal of Truth is definitely going to be my favorite. I really, really like that contrast of the shifting flakies against that cooler purple base, like warmer flakies, cooler base. I like it. So that one is my favorite. So that is the Age of Resistance collection from Glam Polish. Again, those are releasing February 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I will link the Glam Polish website down below where you guys can check those out. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.